Hi everybody, I hope you're all well. It's so nice to spend a few minutes with you with our joy of flowers. And what a lovely idea Muriel came up with to spend some little Christmassy ideas so that we can spend Christmas together. And I've put a little bit of foliage into the back of the design. I've put some of the cupressus, some of the skimmia and some of the Leadsom formosa, which fortunately I found a little seedling in the garden when I moved house, and it's sent up these beautiful berries now. So I'm just going to put in some cupressus. Always a pleasure to use because it smells so lovely. And when Muriel rang and came up with this lovely idea, and then of course she goes off the phone, and you know, we're always one of those ladies that can't say no, and then you think, what on earth am I going to do? So I went into my shed, studio, and I saw this on the side, and it was a letter C. That's what it said to me, a letter C. So C for Christmas. So it's been so sad this year not having all the lovely shows to go to, and that pleasure of walking into the marquee and seeing what all you talented people have been up to. But never mind, I'm sure you've still been treating yourself to a few flowers when you've done your shopping. And I certainly have. I've come back with a little bunch of roses and enjoyed those. Even though these days, I must confess, I've become what is known as a plonker. I've just plonked them in a vase, but enjoyed them. So I'm just overlapping some hosta leaves. And this hosta is always the last one to disappear. It's a beautiful one. It's called June, and June is always very elegant, beautiful colouring, and very pretty in the garden. So I'm just overlapping them, just gently cascading them to one side. So around my letter C, I've put some of my pretty wire, and then I put some baubles on it and a few butterflies, and it creates some depth within the design and some interest. I love this wire, and it's amazing really how much I've still got in my studio, because my son, who is taking the video at the moment, helped me when I moved house. And if anybody wants someone to help with their clearing out and getting rid of things, my son is the one to ask for, because you go, you don't need this anymore, Mum, in it goes to the skip. And I saw my life sort of vanishing bit by bit, so much so that when I moved house, I had to go out and buy a plate to eat off, but never mind. So I put in, overlapped some of the gorgeous hosta leaves, the hosta June, and I've got two different types of roses. I've got a deep pink rose, which has got a lovely elegant shape to it, and also another pretty rose which is shaded, and it's got like a frilly edge to it. So I'm just going to add some of the roses. I'm just enhancing the shape of my letter C. I'm just going to place them into the design using the one with the more elegant shape first. Well, it's so long since I've demonstrated. It's quite nerve-wracking, but as I said, so nice to spend a few moments with you. So I'm just putting these roses, again, just nestling them underneath my hosta leaves and just placing them together. Always think it's lovely when you get roses close together and you get that impact of the colour and the texture. And I'm going to put the one which is more open just through to the other side. It's so pretty. Well, after Muriel rang and I thought, what am I going to do? I went into my studio and then I got all my Christmas things out. And I got quite excited about the thought of Christmas, and I even thought about putting my Christmas tree up. But with having a little 3-year-old granddaughter, I thought, no, that might start a problem. She gets excited already as it is, and I thought, oh, just imagine if she came and saw a Christmas tree at Grandma's. So I've just put in my roses, just giving it a little whirl so you can see it. So the latest thing is I haven't done an awful lot of cooking since we've been in lockdown, but now that my little granddaughter comes, I must confess I have done a little bit of baking. So I'm just adding the lilies just to the top there. And last time she came, her mummy said that she likes baking, but she never eats anything. So we did some baking, and before I could turn around, she'd eaten 4. So she didn't have a very nutritious lunch on that day. And Grandma ends up in trouble. So again, I've got some chrysanthemums. This is rather a lovely one, and I just thought it picked out the colour of the baubles that I put on my letter C. So as I said, missed so much having the shows to go to, and that joy of going in and seeing what everybody had done. But never mind, perhaps next year we will have the opportunity. So I'm just placing some of the chrysanthemums, the lovely deeper chrysanthemums with a lovely limey green centre, and just 1 or 2 very pretty chrysanthemums just for a change of texture into the top there. And taking 1 or 2 through to the back. So my garden, when I moved in, has very little in it, but I have a young man who comes not to garden but to create some borders for me. And I thought things were supposed to be miniaturised these days, but Sam arrives with a ghetto blaster the size of a suitcase, and I tell him what I want, and Sam does exactly what he wants. But never mind, at least I've got the pleasure of growing some plant material or some new plants next year. So I'm just going to add in 1 or 2 baubles, which I've put on a little kebab stick. I'm just going to place it into the centre there. But so what did you all get up to in lockdown? Knowing you've all got so many brilliant talents, you'll have created some lovely things. I did some painting, and my favourite thing was growing all my bedding plants from seeds. So that was lovely. I think my time is running out, so just going to place in the last rose there. So normally, of course, Christmas we think of red, traditional red. I never have any red in my house, so it doesn't really go. So I've chosen the bright pink because that will go with the things in my home. Right, one last bauble just in there, just to catch the light. And another little butterfly to take flight. I've just bent the end of the wire so it won't move around. So I would like to finish my little demonstration with a little glass of something. The government gives us 3 words, and at the moment it's hands, face, space. I would like to leave you with my 3 words, which is plonk, arrange, enjoy. Very, very happy Christmas, everybody.